Zach,
What's up, Edward?
I feel like almost like The Hangover. We did some
Yeah,
shit. We did some shit last night.
and you know what?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You can
sir,
rally,
dude.
motherfucker.
Oh man, I have a Carbach Love Street tonight. One of my absolute favorites from that company. I see you got a little Carbach action going. What you got over there, sir?
I've got Crawford Bach. I'm
And
celebrating an Astros win
and
because
on
fuck
home
them
opener
A's.
too, right?
Oh, you know it.
Bro, you got to rep that H Town, man.
That's right.
Um,
I think it's funny. Correa went yard again tonight. That dude is on fire. And in the press conference, he was telling everybody, my swing feels so sexy.
yes, that's what I meant to mention the other night. Is
Oh my god.
in one of his post interviews, he had a walk off or something in one of the games, and he came out and he's just like, I just feel like my swing is so sexy. I was like, bro, are you
Dude,
seriously out here
it,
talking
it
about?
reminded me of there's a skit on Saturday Night Live with Antonio Banderas. It's
No, it's
Antonio
too
Banderas.
much.
Yeah, yeah, it's him and Horatio Sands, and he's like, "Should I undo one of my buttons?" And Horatio Sands is
No,
like, "No, no, it's too sexy." And he's like, "But I
but they
must."
must,
I
dude.
mean, like we said, I think if Correa was on another team, we would probably hate the guy. But man, he wears the right colors, so we love him.
Hey, I'm all
That's
about
how
that
that
dude right
works.
now.
Oh, dude. But
Excuse me.
man, so stumbled upon. I guess we're just gonna start doing would you rather's as our opening because I'm getting feedback. Some are very positive, and the last one they were like, "Y'all should have never fucking done that."
Yeah, like again, they're hit or miss.
But I
Um,
think this one might be pretty good.
okay, what you got?
So it's not shit related. It's not sex related. It's just kind of. I mean, I guess it could be sex related. It depends on what you
Depending
think.
on who's listening, right?
Right. But so would you rather have a time machine or a teleporter?
I'm teleporting, dude.
See, like I'm on the fence because I like the teleporting idea because I mean, you could just teleport wherever you want it. Like you would never have to be like rushed ever again.
Hmm.
Right? You could take the minimum amount of time to get ready for almost anything. And then on top of that, like you could teleport to like sporting events
Yep.
and like if you're quick enough you could teleport and like steal sideline passes and like that way you're completely legal to be where you are. Or if you had a time machine you could go back and like buy Microsoft stock
That
or like
is
Apple
true.
stock or something like that.
You
And
know,
so when you come back to normal time you're like multi-billionaire.
I've actually given an a lot of thought to something like that and wasted many days with thinking like, what if I went back and bought Netflix or Amazon whenever they first came out? Like, where would I be today? Or even fucking Bitcoin or some shit. And then I realized I'm an idiot for wasting my time thinking that far back and just thinking shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. But
Well, I
that,
know where you would be. We would be in a real studio recording a real podcast.
oh, absolutely. And here I am buying fucking Dogecoin. I'm winning.
Hey, you say that, and I'm mining pi.
Hey, if any of y'all want to mine some pie, hit me up. I got you. We
Yeah,
get that shit done.
dude.
I don't even know if that shit's gonna even do anything.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's just a pipe dream that we're all hoping we can hit the Bitcoin again.
But you know what? Even if that motherfucker does hit the market, if it comes out to be true and it hits 1 cent, I'm cashing that motherfucker out in a heartbeat and getting my 658.
I was like 1 cent. I'm gonna have like $4.
Hey, that's $4 I didn't have before.
It's true. I've heard a few people say it might hit $200.
If
That's what
it, I'm praying that it would hit that. If it hit that, I'm going fucking nuts.
hell yeah, me too. Be white trash rich, baby.
Oh, dude, I'm getting the biggest double wide you've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna move back into my parents' house. You ready to start this?
Let's fucking go.
Woo!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. I'm Ed.
I'm Zach.
And here we are again, assholes, for another fucking show. Um, you were with us last night on the debauchery that was the podcast, and here we are on another night episode. I don't know what it is about a night episode, but it just feels like there's a little bit more energy with it. I don't know if it's because I'm dealing with hangovers during day shows or what, but like
Um,
starting
no, I,
creating the hangover and doing a show is so much better than doing
oh
the
yeah.
day show.
No, I think because it's two wannabe athletes talk sports after dark, it kind of brings out like the adult in you, and then you do this, and
Yes.
you instantly feel better. I don't really know.
I think that's a universal sound to people to when they hear that. They instantly are just like, okay, I'm good with whatever situation's going on right now. Dude's getting
Either
stabbed in the
that or
parking lot. I don't care. Somebody
right,
cracked open a beer.
it's getting better. Like automatically, it's gonna be better.
Man, so new day, new Deshaun Watson stuff has come out.
Oh
We'll
my
go ahead
god,
and start the show out with that.
I'm so sick of it.
Excuse me. But it's come out on Deshaun Watson's side. His attorney, Rusty Hardin, who you've made probably one of the best statements about that. He's a Harden, so you know he's not in it for during clutch situations.
No,
He has come out and he is requesting all the names of the women who are putting in the lawsuit. All right. Tomorrow being Friday, the 9th of April in 2021, they're supposed to have an emergency meeting to where this is going to get decided, I believe. Now, granted, this episode is going to come out a little bit later after all this is done, but hang with us anyways. So, with that being said, him getting all the names out there is actually going to help Watson's team possibly get ahead of this whole thing because now they'll have names to the faces. They can go back through some of his stuff and see if they've hit him up for possible blackmail or saying, "Hey, yo, nothing happened, but I want $100,000 or something," right?
right.
Um,
Okay. Well, yeah, more of like a, hey, I'm gonna say you did this unless you pay me kind of thing.
Pretty much, they're gonna start sifting through the gold diggers, and I think, in my opinion, you present that to a jury or a judge or whoever makes the decision, they're going to start seeing if you can get enough of those women. You don't have to get all of them, but if you can get enough of those women having the same pattern of just reaching for money, there's a chance that they just throw every single one of them motherfuckers out the door and just say, "Hey, sorry for wasting your time, Mr. Watson. Go enjoy your life."
Right. No, that's possible. I'm a big believer of where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a hell of a lot of smoke coming from Deshaun Watson's case. So,
Well,
like I said, I want to hold judgment. I mean, I know we've made like a couple of judgments on
yep.
the alleged behavior, but I mean, I think what we've said is pretty universal. But as far as, whether he's guilty or he's innocent or whatever, I don't know yet. But I don't know if getting their names out there helps him, right? Like, what does it matter? Other than like, you just, I mean, I feel like you should know your accuser, but I don't think that should be public information.
Well, dude, when it's 22 and he is getting somewhere around an average of 40 massages a year, like you're going to lose track of who rubbed you one way or another.
Right. I mean,
Um,
I get that. And then it's very possible that, he could get the list of the complainants or whatever, and he goes, oh, wait a minute. That person, here's the messages right here where she told me that's what she wanted to do.
yeah.
And so
So,
like I see that, but what I'm saying is I just don't think maybe that information should be public.
well, you brought up something that actually struck my brain today, and I was thinking about it while in the car. And the statement that Russie Harden gave out not once did he say that they didn't have some type of relations, right? Pretty
Right.
much it was saying that he didn't do anything foul. But also at the same time, it kind of comes off as there were some consensual sexual activities going on between him and some of these women, right?
Right.
Um, Now, if his team has some type of evidence to show consent between the two parties, these women are fucked, no pun intended. Um, to where all that shit's going to get thrown out. Now, if he doesn't have anything to back up and say, "Yo, they were down for it. I offered it. They were down. We did it. What's done is done." Right? If he
Right.
doesn't have any type of proof on that, he he's he's probably going to be out of there, right?
Yeah, and that's, to me, that's like the most disheartening part of it. It's that, we live in the United States where you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
And I mean, you basically just laid it out there that if he is unable to prove his innocence, then maybe the shadow of a doubt in at least public opinion will be that, you know what, he did do this stuff. And I think that's really shitty because, like, granted, this is not going to be a criminal case, right, where you have to convince 12 people on a jury without a shadow of a doubt this is what happened. It's just a judge, right? It's a civil case, so the judge
Right.
kind of determines whether this happened or whether this was credible or whether you were responsible for, the defamation of these people or whatever. I don't know if defamation is the right word, but you know what I mean.
I'll go with it.
And I feel like it's really terrible that we're sitting here saying that this man has to clear himself of these charges. It sucks. Like I agree with you. I'm not saying that you're wrong in any way. I'm just saying that it's really terrible that we live in a society with all these laws, and basically a man can just be accused of something, and it's like, all right, man, ball's in your court. You prove you didn't do it.
Right. And that's more of an uphill battle at times for the man to come and do that. And it's a shitty situation,
Yeah.
if 22 women have come out and lied against this 25-year-old kid, cuz in reality, I mean, he's still a kid. Um whether you agree with me or not, I mean, you're putting his livelihood,
Yeah.
his everything that he's done, you're putting it out there because you want a paycheck.
Right.
If you're lying on that, you are like some of the
And
worthless
that's
piece of
another thing.
shit that's out there. Now, granted, both sides can be done, right?
Yeah.
Men can do the same, trying to get money from successful women and vice versa. But
Yeah.
if you're spending this type of energy on to rob somebody of their profit, their benefits of being successful, like fuck you.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at. Like, um, you say you're ruining Deshaun Watson's life, and I mean, it's sad that we've come to that point where that's what we hope it is. We hope that it's 22 women just trying to grab some money. I feel like the reason why we are so skeptical is because really no repercussions against the women if they make false statements, right? Because we're so caught up in an idea of making sure that no one is a victim, that when a man is a victim, we kind of just, just be lucky you're not in jail. Like, you
Yeah.
know what? That's kind of fucked up. Now, like, once again, I don't want to say that I believe Deshaun Watson. I don't want to say that I believe the women. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I mean, it sounds like he likes to have his penis pulled on. That's what it
Right.
sounds like. Other than that, I don't know if he
Excuse
was,
me.
forcing the women to play with his penis, or if they wanted to, or it was a mutual agreement as the
Right.
moment happened. Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. So
Yeah.
I don't want to make judgment, but regardless, you look at it from a 30,000-foot level, both sides are screwed, right? Because no matter what happens, Deshaun Watson is going to be looked at in the public court of public opinion as, like, basically a sex offender,
Yep.
right? And then all the women, if all their names come out, there's going to be a faction of the population that just looks at them as money grubbing whores, right?
It,
So like, there's no telling what's happening. There's no telling.
so with that, like if the women come out and turn out to be just money grubbing whores,
Yeah,
they only have to respond to a small circle of people that they know, that they work with, maybe some internet trolls who remember faces and names, and they may run across them in public one day and just start chewing them out. Whereas Deshaun Watson has pretty much a whole nation, if not a majority of the world, knowing who he is. So anytime he steps out in public, he has to deal with the hatred from other people and the consequences that may come with that, because
yeah,
there are a lot of unstable people out there in this world. um, he could he can lose his job from the NFL and never get picked up again. People still wouldn't be happy with that. He could be walking to the store to get something, or walking to the store. He could be walking in the store or something, and somebody could hit him with a car because they just see him as a sex offender, like you said.
yep,
It's very damaging, and I think a lot of people on the 22 side, if they are all lying, which in my opinion, it's kind of hard to see 22 lies all at the same time. But
yep,
regardless, like if those 22 are lying, they're not thinking about the future for this individual, right?
no,
And on the flip side too, Deshaun Watson's not thinking about the future for 22, maybe even more individuals, with the scarring that he's doing to them mentally, that affects them with their husbands, their girlfriends,
right,
their boyfriends, whoever it might be, right? Like this is this is a very like odd situation. Now, granted, it happens probably more than we want to admit it,
right.
um, and we have to. We're just sitting here watching this like it's a soap opera.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the worst part is, like you said, either like none of these people, regardless of which ones are correct, right? If the ladies are lying, they're not thinking about Deshaun's future. And if Deshaun actually did this, then he wasn't thinking about the women's future.
Right.
Everyone in this situation is being selfish, right? Like if one side is telling the truth, then the other side is being selfish, and if the other side is telling the truth, then the other side was being selfish. And so because these groups of people were selfish, either Deshaun Watson has to pay a whole bunch of money and might lose his job in the NFL, or uh, these women have been scarred by somebody who was in a position of power that he thought could exploit these women. So
Yep.
either way, selfishness, it's just bad, man.
There's no winner on either side of this.
I'm with you. I think the only way that we win is if Deshaun Watson is shown to be innocent, right? Because then there's no like Deshaun Watson like loses in the court of public opinion for a little bit, but then at the end of the day, nobody gets hurt,
But
right?
I, I still don't see him as a winner after that, because people are still going to be stuck to their own opinions, to where they look at Deshaun Watson and go, it's kind of like OJ. A lot of people still think OJ did it, and a lot of people think OJ didn't do it, right? Um,
Uh, I don't think so. I don't think that's how
uh,
that went down.
well,
I think it's probably like 80-20. People think he did it.
well, is that because he went to prison for theft or robbery or
No,
whatever?
I think it's because he wrote a fucking book called "If I Did It, I Would Have Done It Like This."
But it wasn't done that way, though, was it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Either way, like
Well,
somebody got away with murder
but
because who did it?
you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
Right? Yeah, I do. Yeah,
because Deshaun Watson, even if he stays in the NFL, all right,
yeah,
of course he still wants out of Houston, regardless of them taking his side. Or granted, they haven't came out with a statement at all and said anything about him other than we're following the NFL's investigation or whatever. But I'm
yeah.
saying he'll probably still want out of Houston. If Houston cuts him and he tries to go get a job at another team, I think it's going to be harder than a lot of people think. Yeah, the dude's very talented, but would
I mean, yeah. This
he
it's the stigma. I mean, think about Michael Vick, right?
yes.
Michael Vick never even hurt a person. Like, okay, I say that like super callous. I understand what he did is like disgusting, right? Like I would be like livid if my kids grew up to be just like Michael Vick, right? But nobody really actually found out what Michael Vick did, right? He didn't have anything to do with the actual dog fighting
No,
or
he just
breeding.
participated, I
Well,
think.
no, he just funded. He gave money to like his cousin or somebody, and they ran all that shit. So like,
Was he doing it in his house?
no, I mean, so supposedly the where they were doing the dog fighting was on property that Michael Vick owned. But I mean, if he owned the property, but he's not there, he's letting like his cousin live on the property. Is that his fault that his cousin is like backwater trash?
Excuse me.
I mean,
I quickly want to change lanes on this. If Vic would have stayed in Atlanta and the dog fighting never happened, where would he be?
Hall of Fame.
Do you think they would have a championship?
Now that's hard to say. Um,
That
he,
changes the aspect of so much shit. Where would Matt Ryan end up? Would Julio still be picked up by Atlanta?
right.
Like,
I mean, who knows? I mean, that changes the whole dynamic of that entire franchise.
does Freeman and Coleman have the 1-2 punch that they once had? Like,
No, I mean, all that changes. But I feel like, honestly, would they have won the Super Bowl? I mean, 2007, they were close, right? Didn't they?
right?
Isn't that the year they beat Green Bay in Lambeau?
I think so.
That was like the first time Green Bay had lost in the playoffs at home for like ever. So, and I think Vic that was his first playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, dude, I don't know. So let's look at it like this. People compare, like, okay, who gets the Michael Vick tag right now in the NFL?
Mahomes?
No.
Who?
Lamar Jackson. Right? So
Okay.
this is my thing. We both grew up watching Michael Vick play.
Yeah.
And I would say to this day, he is still the most dynamic player I've ever seen in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? He made play like the reason why he was the most dynamic player is because he had the ball in his hands every play, right? So he was basically as like the most athletic on the field, the fastest on the field, but he could make plays with his arm, right? So he was just supremely dangerous.
Very.
But if you remember Michael Vick in his prime, who's better, Michael Vick in his prime or Lamar Jackson MVP season?
Well, Vic.
Right. See, I agree with you. But was Michael Vick ever close to winning an MVP? I don't think so.
I'd have to go back and look at the stats and
Right.
look
I don't
at
know
what was
the
going on
actual
around it.
voting was. I mean, that was back when, Steve McNair was up there with Peyton Manning and, Drew Brees was still a pretty good guy.
But what I remember of Vic, though, he brought a different look at the quarterback. He wasn't just
there was no one else like him.
It wasn't like a 2-3 step drop back and just stand in the pocket. This dude would, excuse me, he would make plays out of nowhere when he didn't even have to, right?
To me, it's like Barry Sanders if Barry Sanders played quarterback.
Yeah, with less power,
that's
though.
the closest thing I can come up with.
I just hate that he missed out on a couple of years,
right,
to where he was rocking that motherfucker. Let me see if I can't find this, but I mean,
anyway, I just feel like if he had not gone to jail, it would have been a completely different NFL. And then on top of that, we're not even talking about how would that have affected athletic quarterbacks coming from college?
Well, I think we've already seen how that is, right? We're seeing a lot more mobile quarterbacks because of him.
Think about it. When was Cam Newton drafted?
Oh, fuck, I don't even know,
right?
man.
So he's only been in the league. I think he was drafted in either 2011 or 2012. I can't remember. Okay, but Cam Newton, is he as athletic as Michael Vick? No,
He's
he's
mobile.
he's very mobile. He's more. He's got more power
Yeah,
because he's
2011.
huge, but he can throw the ball better than Michael Vick,
Yeah,
right? But how long did that take? Michael Vick got drafted. He was the only quarterback drafted in the first round in what, 2004? Is that
yeah.
right? So
2001.
okay, so he was the only quarterback drafted in the first round of 2001, right? But so you go from 2001 to 2011 before you get a quarterback that's as athletic. Well, maybe not even as athletic as him. So I mean, I
Well, hold
think
on. When was McNabb drafted?
McNabb is not a running quarterback, though.
He had to be.
Well, okay, but he wasn't. Like, he
No.
was a pocket passer. Michael Vick was not a pocket passer. Michael Vick was a make it happen kind of thing. Cam Newton is more of a pocket passer than Michael Vick ever was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that I feel like Michael Vick was in a class of his own, and now we're frozen.
No, I'm here.
Where'd you go?
I'm here.
Can't see you. Oh, there you are. I don't know what just happened. Now you
Oh,
look like you're doing the robot.
I use my fucking phone and
I
this
guess what I'm saying is that I don't
great value
understand
internet.
why.
Yeah.
You boost up that Boost Mobile. Well, like I just don't understand. Like, I know this is not where we wanted to go, but I mean, to me, it really shows that the black quarterback is still a stigma in the NFL.
What do you
You
mean?
know, that people are more reluctant to get a black quarterback than they are to draft a white quarterback. It's so weird. I mean, because like even Deshaun Watson fell, right? What did Deshaun Watson do in college? He shredded Alabama,
Yeah.
right? The best defense in the entire country. Deshaun Watson was throwing for 400 yards against that.
True.
And he still fell in the draft and got drafted 12th.
But also at the same time, in terms of Alabama, name one quarterback that's come from Alabama that's a starter today.
Well, but I'm talking about their defense. I mean, there's no quarterback from Alabama that is a starter.
Exactly.
I mean, Mac Jones is going to be the first one.
And then he's going to fizzle out.
Well, I mean, that's what we think. We don't know, but I mean, I agree with you. But what I'm getting at though is that how many black quarterbacks get drafted in the first round?
That's a very good question.
You know, and like, even okay, let's just look at this draft and we'll go from there. I mean, what has Justin Fields done to hurt his draft stock? Absolutely nothing. Yet he's falling down every mock draft board.
There's something above our knowledge with the game that
I'm with you, but we both watched him play.
excuse
You know what I
me.
mean?
But
I mean, look, granted, I guess Clemson's defense really sucked. And then he played Alabama's defense, and Alabama, they just beat them.
but okay, so in comparison to that, the fucker I hate, Trey Lance, where's he at? Has his stock dropped?
Well, no, I mean, he's taken off.
Right. So I mean,
But hold on. But my thing is, though, is that what do we talk about for Trey Lance? We constantly talk about how the fuck is this guy climbing up everybody's draft board? He's not that good.
he's not.
So this guy randomly comes out of the middle of nowhere, and now my mock draft, mine because I'm special.
You are.
I have Trey Lance going number 3 to San Francisco. Right?
Ugh.
The only reason why I have that is because they made that trade to move up to number 3 after his pro day. And so I kind of felt like, well, damn, they're moving up quick, because hands down, the number 1 quarterback is going to be Trevor Lawrence, who
Absolutely.
we both agree
It's
is not
garbage.
really anything special.
There hasn't been anything that came from him that makes people go, "Oh my God, that is the
Right.
future of the NFL." Like, excuse me, sorry, got an itch in my throat, giggity. The whole we've said it so many times. The stigma with this fucking draft is that they're putting all this hype into fucking Trevor Lawrence, and
Mm-hmm.
look at what he's done. You know whose name I've heard more than him? Justin Fields and Zach Wilson. Those are the two top people that you
Well,
constantly hear about within this whole thing. I'm hearing them more than I'm hearing Trevor Lawrence, or if I'm hearing um, the wide receivers. I can't spit them out right now.
that's
Um,
fine. I mean, I think the reason, honestly, I think the reason why you're not hearing Trevor Lawrence as much is because it's like basically
a given.
solidified that he's the number one
Yeah.
pick. So it's just like Deshaun Watson. When there's unknown, there's a story.
Right.
And then once it's not unknown, then it's like, well, then why even talk about it? We know where he's going. We know Urban Meyer only wants to coach because he wants to coach Trevor Lawrence. So it's a foregone conclusion. He's going to be the number one quarterback. Whether or not he's the best quarterback in the draft, that's beside the point. The point is that they've basically come out and said, this is our guy. This is who we're drafting. That's it. Done. So once that happens, it's like, okay, well, who's the next guy? So that's why they talk about Zach Wilson, which I think if I'm the Jets, now that I've traded Sam Darnold, I'm drafting Zach Wilson. But so I went back because apparently I'm narcissistic. I listened to our old podcasts, and I still feel like the third quarterback off the board should be Justin Fields.
I agree with you on that.
But in the mock draft from Lance Zierlein, he had the third quarterback being Justin Fields coming off the board for the Broncos. And I just said that I feel like Justin Fields should be the third quarterback off the board. But I also don't think the Broncos should draft a quarterback. And I kind of feel like maybe I contradicted myself. But and I mean, I think you tried to steer me in the right direction because you were saying, well, if this guy is so good, why wouldn't you want the Broncos to draft him?
Right.
And like, I hear that, but like, we already drafted a quarterback, right? So that's why I say that.
So
And
it's
I
more
guess
the
what I'm
fact that
saying
you're
is,
comfortable with what you have right now instead of continuing
like,
to do the same thing over and over.
well, right. I feel like Drew Lock is 1 year away from being successful. That's what I feel like. I mean, I know that I'm probably in the minority of Broncos fans, especially if you get on any Broncos forum. Any Broncos forum is like, trade up and get Trevor Lawrence, because people on those fan forums are all stupid.
Right.
That's what they're saying. They're saying trade up for Trevor Lawrence, which is an impossible trade. There's no way that that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, it's there. It's just, are they going to do it? No.
Well, I mean, are you going to give up 3 first-round picks for a guy who's never played a down in the NFL? No, you're not going to do that. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but it's really stupid.
Well,
but
excuse me. What
I don't. I guess what I'm saying is, I just want to put it out there that I'm not knocking Justin Fields. I think he will be a legitimate NFL quarterback. I just feel like in the scheme of things, it doesn't make sense to punt on Drew Lock.
Excuse me.
I know you disagree with me because you're not a big Drew Lock fan.
I'm not, and I'm not a fan of this quarterback class that's coming. I'll tell you right now, the quarterback class that's coming in right now are quarterbacks that will hold on to y'all until something better comes. They're not going to be elite Hall of Famers. They're not going to be quarterbacks that people are just. They're not going to lead jersey sales. They're not going to be the main reasons why stadiums get sold out. Excuse me. These are mediocre quarterbacks that we're hyping up because of the fact that they're quarterbacks coming into a league, coming to possible teams that need some type of revival. And so they are selling this to the best of their ability. Fuck COVID. We didn't get to do all this last year except out of Roger Goodell's basement. So let's fucking hype it up to where these are the best players to ever come out of college, and we're going to fucking sell the shit out of it. No. All right. No. Stop it. If you think that these quarterbacks, the wide receivers are probably going to come out and be hell of more stars than any of these quarterbacks. I'm looking at it, you're probably going to start knowing some of these offensive linemen more.
Yeah. Sorry, I was throwing my count up there. That was one.
What's that?
That massive freaking dino burp I just had.
Oh,
No, I'm with you. I mean, I'm on record. I think Kyle Trask is the best quarterback in this draft.
and he's not even being talked about, right?
Nope,
Like,
not at all. He'll be drafted in the third or fourth round. That's kind of where I'm at.
I don't know.
If he gets a shot, he gets a shot. But I'm with you. Like, I don't want to go out on a limb and say that these guys are mediocre because we don't know, right? I mean, they're saying that the Trevor Lawrence kid is the best prospect since Andrew Luck or John Elway, and that's a tall order because
Where's Andrew
John
Luck
Elway,
today?
you what?
Where's Andrew Luck today?
Well, but my point is, like, John Elway is a Hall of Famer. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, right? So that's pretty big shoes to fill, right? Andrew Luck never won anything, but I mean, let's be honest. If he came back into the league today and played at the same level he was playing the last season that he played, I mean, wouldn't he be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL?
Hands down. But you're
Right.
You're,
So that's
you're
what I'm
going to
saying.
tell
So
me that
those are
Trevor
very
Lawrence
tall
is coming
shoes.
out and
Yeah.
no.
And that's what I'm getting at. I feel like every year they do this shit. They do this with quarterbacks, and they put them up on this pedestal, and they say this guy is going to be the next A, and you're like, okay. And then when he finishes his career and he never amounts to being the same as that guy, right now you put like this added pressure on him. And honestly, fans will look at him and be like, well, he never lived up to his potential.
Right.
And so he was a bust. And it's like, well, I don't think that's, I don't know. I hate this draft stuff. Because like right now we're talking about Trevor Lawrence being the second coming of God, right? And then we're talking about Justin Fields is a piece of shit. And it's like they've never even played in the NFL yet. Just let them get drafted, and let's see what they can do.
I will say if Justin Fields, I'm going to call it now. Justin Fields is going to be more successful than Trevor Lawrence, hands down.
I'm with you. I'm not even going to argue with you.
He can ride the bench and be more successful than fucking Trevor Lawrence. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go that far. I think that Justin Fields is going to get drafted and he's going to play in the NFL. But I think that he'll be more successful. But okay, so then this is the question. Maybe we can make a little podcast bet.
Okay.
I'm not sure which side I'm on, so we'll just put the bet out there. All right. Okay. So, of the quarterbacks that are going to be drafted in the first round, right? Okay. First of all, I guess how many quarterbacks do you think will be drafted in the first round in a couple days? Well, I guess in 3 weeks.
4.
Okay, I was thinking 5. So then if you're saying 4, then we might as well just talk about the same 4 guys, right? So Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and then Zach Wilson and Mac Jones. That's the 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so anybody who fucking drafts Trey Lance throw your team away. Sell him on eBay for $50.
Okay, well then we'll include him. So then, to me, I feel like 5 quarterbacks are going to be drafted in the first. Well, so this is the deal. I feel like somebody's going to reach for Trey Lance, and I feel like Mac Jones is going to be picked at the end of the first round.
I see Mac Jones going to San Francisco.
But if that happens, that's unbelievable. I feel like Mac Jones is going to be drafted by Tampa Bay at the end of the first round.
Ugh.
But okay, so regardless, so both of us agree Mac Jones is not a first-round quarterback?
God, no.
Okay, and both of us agree that Trey Lance is not a first-round quarterback.
He shouldn't even be in this draft.
Well, no, he's going to get drafted, but
he shouldn't be.
All right, so then we'll just stick with the 3 that we think are the top 3.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields.
Okay. Who's
the first quarterback out of those 3 to win a playoff game?
None.
So you think out of those 3, none of them will win a playoff game?
Nope. Ooh. Now, hold on.
That's tough.
Let me take that back. Whoever, if out of those 3, one of those 3 go to San Francisco, that quarterback will win a playoff game because I don't see Jacksonville going to a playoff game within the next 5 years. I don't see the Jets going to a playoff game within the next 8 years.
Oh,
Yeah, they.
that's tough
When
there.
was the
With
last
all those
time
draft picks, that means that GM will be fired next year.
we've seen it done, right? And you can't tell me that you, you having all these draft picks and you bringing in, say, Zach Wilson, if he does go to the Jets, he is your
He's going
Lord.
to the Jets.
He's your Lord and Savior. Are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding me?
I mean,
He has nothing. That's why Sam Darnold fucking flopped there because he
well,
has nothing.
right. I'm with you. But I said this last night. Go and watch Colin Cowherd break down a mock version of what the Jets can do with their 6 picks this year. Right. Well, actually, you know what? It was 5 picks.
Okay.
Two first round picks, 2 seconds and a third this year. Right. And if you look at the people that he thinks will fall in the range for them in this draft this year, they will compete this year for a playoff spot.
No.
Now, I'm telling you right now, the Jets will not make the playoffs this year.
No.
Not happening. But I guarantee you, like I would bet almost anything, the Jets will be in the playoffs within the next 8 seasons. Guaranteed.
No.
I'll put it on the board. I don't know.
Put it on there.
I don't know how to do that, but
yeah, it's on there.
It's on there. It's got a sticky note with a thumbtack.
So I'm not a fan of mock drafts because never in the history of mock drafts has there ever been a correct one.
Well, I've never done one before, so there's time to change.
Okay.
I'm kidding, obviously.
I do want to see this, and I love crazy shit because fuck it, I'm a degenerate. I want to see the Jets take all the fucking first round draft picks that they have this year and something else, throw it at Jacksonville, and take Trevor Lawrence. Go from 2 to 1.
Yeah. Okay. So
it can possibly happen.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying that what you're offering or what you're suggesting is outside the realm of possibilities. What I'm saying is that if I'm the Jets and I'm sitting at number 2 right now, I don't care if you take Trevor Lawrence. I'm still going to take Zach Wilson, and with all the picks that I have in my arsenal, I'm going to beat you.
But they're dumb enough to possibly do that, though. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, so if it was the Texans organization,
they would have done it for whoever their third string quarterback is.
Right. I mean, I'm with you on that.
Matter of fact, I just read a report. Brian Hoyer, playing for his 17th team, is a backup quarterback for the Jets now. Technically, he's the starter because they don't have anybody else right now until draft day.
I read that too, but they're going to use him as a mentor to teach the offense. So I don't think that that's a bad signing.
As much as a poor of a player that Brian Hoyer, I think he's going to be an outstanding coach because we already see it in his future that's probably where he's going to end up.
I'm with you on that.
I think he'll be a great coach, and
I don't think he'll be an offensive coordinator or like a head coach, but I can totally see him being like a quarterback's coach.
I could see him being a head coach.
Wow, that's pretty high praise.
Well, look at it though. Look at the resume that he's had with the amount of teams he's gotten to dip his dick in every kind of fucking offense that's out there.
That's true. He has seen a lot. I mean, he's been in the league for what, 18 years?
How many years was he under Belichick? So he's
that's
fucking
true too. So,
raping knowledge on that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's going to be a great head coach. I'm just saying I could see him as a head coach.
Okay. Well, so then now that we're talking about the draft,
cities.
I tried to look at like betting on the draft because I feel like you can go ahead and bet on the draft as if it's already been picked. I feel like the number 1 pick for Jacksonville guaranteed is Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
So then I feel like also on top of that, number 2 guaranteed, Zach Wilson.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way else. There's nowhere else. The Jacksonville oh my god, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not taking anybody else but Trevor Lawrence, and the New York Jets, they're not taking anybody else but Zach Wilson. That is done. And I want to find a place where I can parlay those two bets together, because you should be able to make some good money on that. I made decent money on the Baker Mayfield first round pick,
Yes.
and I made pretty decent money on the Kyler Murray first round pick.
I'm looking at my site right now, and the only thing they have under NFL is Super Bowl to win.
That's what I was getting at. I went to look at the draft betting, and it's not there. So, since you're already looking, the number one team for odds to win the Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs. Right? Then behind that, obviously, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
You know, they only brought back all 22 starters. First team to do that since what, like 1976. So, do you know who the next best team is? Well, you probably do since you're looking at it.
No, it's not pulling up properly for me.
Okay. Well, so
excuse me. The Bills.
Kansas City is plus 450.
Okay.
Tampa Bay is plus 500. Okay.
It's either the Bills or Green Bay.
Well, so then there are two teams that are plus 900. So the Los Angeles Rams are plus 900.
The Green Bay Packers.
And the Green Bay Packers are plus 900. And I told you I'm of the mindset, once the NFC Championship game was done and Tom Brady was moving on to his billionth Super Bowl, I told you right then and there it would be a good bet to put a marker on the Green Bay Packers to win the Super Bowl.
So are you locking that in?
Well, I said that, and then the fucking press conference happened where he made it sound like he didn't know if he was going to play for Green Bay. So then I'm going to say this. Wherever Aaron Rodgers plays next year, that should be the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
No. If he ends up in Detroit, they're winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
What? With what weapons?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Not at all.
How many Super Bowls has Aaron Rodgers won?
One.
Okay. How many times has he been? Twice?
Once.
I think they lost one. I might be wrong on that. Welcome to the podcast on that one.
There's some sports that we talk about.
He had the best wide receiver last year, yes or no?
Yes.
His defense sucked. They weren't okay. Sucked is a strong word.
No, that's accurate. They're bad.
So you take him from Green Bay, who almost went to the Super Bowl because the coach made a stupid ass decision to kick the ball, and you move him to Detroit, who I don't have to say anything else. You mean to tell me he's gonna take them to the fucking Super Bowl?
Yes.
No. Zachary.
So Aaron Rodgers has only been in one Super Bowl and he won.
So he's 1 for 1. Kudos.
About to be 2 for 2.
That was the jam back in the day when he went and he did the belt thing.
The discount double check?
Yes.
That might be the greatest celebration of all time.
I pull that move after sex all the fucking time. Because you got to
pass out and ask for a sandwich.
You got to double check that shit. Make sure ain't no babies happening.
Oh.
But
I don't know, man. I'm still thinking Aaron Rodgers is going to win a Super Bowl before he retires. That's my thought process. I felt like the way that the Green Bay Packers played, they deserved to win that game. They just didn't do it. So
I agree.
I mean, I think you add one offensive weapon, right? Whether it be a tight end or a wide receiver, it doesn't even matter. And they're the favorite. I think they're the favorite to win the NFC. I know Tom Brady still lives in Tampa Bay. Fuck Tom Brady. I'm just saying that of course you would. What's that movie where his dick like glows in like gold?
Ted 2.
Yeah. I mean, You wouldn't touch it just to see?
The fluids that have dripped off that man's appendage is just heavenly. Should be jarred and sold on an Etsy account for $900.
Well, hold on. So my question is, Tom Brady's kids are too young for us to understand if they're going to be NFL quarterbacks,
They're
right?
not.
So, would you rather, if you could have one more child, but you didn't sire the child, right? Would you rather Tom Brady knock your wife up, or would you rather Archie Manning knock your wife up?
Archie Manning.
Right? That's what I think, because Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowl wins, beat Tom Brady.
Yep.
Peyton Manning, two Super Bowl wins, he beat Tom Brady.
Yep.
So, and then both Peyton Manning and Eli Manning both say that Cooper Manning was the most athletic of the 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that tells me if he hadn't torn his ACL, he'd play in the NFL too. What did Tom Brady's kids do?
Ate kale.
Oh, right. They came out of what's her name's vagina. That's basically all they've done.
I bet that. Never mind. I'm not going to
No,
say
don't
that.
even. Don't even. Nay. I was with you though. I totally thought that sucks.
I would totally just throw that man some blue bombers and say go to Drilling Town, man. Get me a Super Bowl win.
All right, so I feel like when we start talking about Tom Brady's balls, that we're done with football.
Yeah,
So
people get pissed off about that shit.
Pissed off or pissed on?
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. Let's move on to, I think, the most beautiful sport, baseball.
Oh, I thought you were going to say lingerie football.
Oh, well, that's off the air.
Is that still a thing?
No, I mean, I freaking hope not. That's a joke.
Is it?
So,
bro,
don't even. I'm not going down that road. Not even gonna do it,
bro.
So, our favorite pitcher, Mr. Tyler Bauer, he pitched over the weekend. Well, I don't know. Today's Thursday, so maybe he pitched Tuesday.
October?
But he pitched 6 innings. Dodgers ended up losing.
Bro, this story already is giving me goosebumps.
So, apparently during the game, Oakland sent a signal to the umpire that they wanted to remove some baseballs from the game because they were suspicious, and they're going to have them tested by Major League Baseball.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure what there are. I don't know what Oakland thought they saw or what, but regardless, they've submitted them to Major League Baseball. And it says, so he pitched on Wednesday, sorry. And it says multiple baseballs were reportedly found with sticky substances and visible markings on the ball. Well, we all know, if you scuff one side of the ball, it's going to rotate differently. And if you certainly have pine tar on your hand, it's going to spin a hell of a lot more than normal. So I don't know if all of our listeners are privy to the bullshit that is Tyler Bauer. I understand I'm calling him Tyler Bauer. I'm doing it on purpose because fuck him. He has been maybe the most outspoken person against the Astros in their cheating scandal.
I think he had a whole podcast against it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wears a T-shirt constantly about trash cans in Houston. So I don't know what the deal is with this guy. He's just a prick, for all I can tell.
So what I know
is, he's going after the Astros for cheating, and the first pitcher that we hear about getting baseballs removed from a game is from a game that he's pitching, and he dominated in that game, by the way.
Excuse me. Oh my God. Coronavirus. Didn't something come out with him? He won Cy Young last year.
Yes.
And he practically admitted to, I found loopholes, I'm using them. suck my dick.
I don't know if that was his stance. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just
Right.
don't remember. I know that he is a proponent of allowing pitchers to use pine tar to get a better grip on the baseball.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, I am in that camp as well. Pitchers get out there, they get sweaty, they're trying to grip a baseball, and when you I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I've found out that throwing a baseball, right, you throw it with 3 fingers, right, 2 and then your thumb, and not the shocker. No.
Sorry.
That's in the bedroom. Keep that in the bedroom. But if you have these 2 fingers like this, just depending on how much pressure is on this finger or how much pressure is on that finger determines the break of the baseball, right? And when you're throwing with those type fingers in that kind of grip, you have the possibility of throwing, I don't know, 9,500 miles an hour, right? So if you have the wrong grip on the wrong finger, it's either it's outside by 3 foot or it's at some dude's head, right? And I feel like the pitchers today throw faster than they did 15 years ago. And so I'm all for a pitcher using pine tar to get a better grip on the ball so that it doesn't hurt people. That's my, full out thought process and stance on letting them use pine, because I don't think it's fair that a pitcher can't use pine tar, but a batter can, right? Like if it's legal for one guy, it should be legal for everybody. But I don't want you to be using fucking icy hot out there to run spitballs. Like I don't want you doing that. But
I think that's the argument though, right? Like if you open up pine tar to come in for the pitchers, when do you shut it down? When do you say no?
I think that's it. I'm saying you can use the rosin bag that's on the pitcher's mound, and you can use pine tar that's in the dugout. That's it. Now, can you take your glove and coat it in pine tar? No, I'm not okay with that. But can you put a little pine tar on your hands, or can you rub the baseballs down with a little bit of pine tar before the game? I'm totally for that. That's okay with me. But back to the story, I think it's hilarious that he is this big outspoken guy against the Astros basically being cheaters and all of them should be suspended and they have no place in baseball.
Yeah, fuck that.
And the first person who gets baseballs removed from a game is old Tyler Bauer.
And he plays for the fucking Dodgers.
Man, of course he does. That motherfucking sandbagging piece of... I hate that.
Well, we all know how this outcome is going to be, right? It's going to be...
Nothing was found. No big deal.
No, even if it's found, he's going to get a slap on the wrist because he plays for the Dodgers, right?
Well, true, right? Because we're still talking about the Yankees letter that got subpoenaed, and they made sure that it stayed sealed because it was going to hurt the team. Man, fuck guys.
Look at the Red Sox. The Red Sox got caught twice doing the same offense, and who got the blame for it? Their fucking video guy.
Yeah, a low-level staffer.
Right. And so your historic teams, Dodgers, Red Sox, Yankees, Cubs, maybe, if something ever came up from them, they are always going to be like, oh, don't do that again. Don't do that.
To me, it's like the Celtics and the Knicks in the NBA.
Yes.
No matter what happens,
Celtic, Knicks, Lakers, nothing will ever happen to those teams.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
Houston has his very first offense and gets the harshest punishment outside of Pete Rose in Major League Baseball history, right? It doesn't make any sense. Now, granted, I'm a firm believer that Houston sports gets shit on constantly. That's why it was given to him, because it's fucking Houston. Whatever.
Right.
All right, that's a whole nother story.
Right. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole, but I was just pointing out that Trevor Bauer switches teams after winning the Cy Young, and this is his second start, and he gets caught using some type of substance. Now,
he hasn't been caught yet.
I will say that he did come out with a podcast or a YouTube video, I don't know, prior to this start. So well before this happened.
Okay.
When MLB introduced the rules where you could get baseballs looked at, he issued a statement, which I agree with, that say he's throwing a pitch and the catcher catches the ball, and then all of a sudden the other team's like, "Whoa, hey, pause! We want to move that ball away from the field." Well, if the catcher had pine tar like anywhere on his body and got it on that baseball, now it's going to look like Trevor Bauer was using pine tar to cheat,
Yeah.
right? So I agree with what he's saying. But the problem with it is the only reason to me why he's saying that is because he knows his catcher puts pine tar on the baseball for him, right? So if that's what's going on, then just make pine tar legal for pitchers. This is so stupid.
Is this going to be one of those catchers has it on the heel kind of deal thing?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those, oh, I ate tainted meat, that's why I tested positive for steroids. It's going to be one of those, oh, I ate deer antler, that's why I had extra testosterone. Yeah, it's going to be one of those.
I don't know. Like, I'm on the fence about it, and maybe it's because it's Bauer that's in this situation.
Right.
But, like, for one, I think they should allow steroids in baseball. I seriously do.
I know you do.
It makes
I know
the
you
game
do.
so much more fun, and I think that's what baseball needs. But at the same time, I'm against pitchers having pine tar because of the fact that it's slowing the game down, in my opinion, just because the fact with them speeding it up, if a dinger is hit, or if the ball's hit or something, you're looking at possibly more ground balls here and there. I don't know. I don't know the science of it. I don't know enough about pine tar. Just
Well, I mean, it just helps them get a better grip on it. So I feel like it makes it to where they can throw a better pitch. I'm just worried about hurting players. And I feel like even if you're throwing an 88 mile an hour slider and it pops out of the top of your hand because you can't hold on to it and it hits a guy in the face, it's still going to hurt them. And that's what I want to get away from. These guys are not going to stop throwing sliders and curveballs. So just let them have a better grip on the baseball so they don't hurt anybody.
so I don't know enough about it, but tell me, like, if the spin is on there more, is that potentially making the ball that much more faster, much more powerful?
Well, it's so yes and no, right? So basically, the science of it is I guess okay. So this is what Major League Baseball is looking at. They're looking at during the course of a game, like I don't know, let's just say Lance McCullers, for instance, because he throws a lot of curveballs.
Okay.
They're gonna register the spin rate of the curveball in the first inning versus the spin rate in the second inning, third inning, fourth inning, and so on, right? And if one inning has a way higher spin rate than another inning, then they're going to look and see if the introduction of a foreign substance happened, right? So that's kind of what they're looking at. They're going to look at the telemetry of the pitches being delivered.
Ooh, very fancy $3 word there.
Yeah, I mean, just in case you're counting, that's 47 points in Scrabble. So the idea of what they're looking at makes sense, but they're going about it in the wrong way. Yes, does it give the pitcher an advantage? Yes.
Okay.
Because if the spin rate is higher, then the break on a curveball is more dramatic.
Wow.
Right? The slide on a slider is more dramatic. The move of a two-seam fastball is more dramatic because the spin rate will be higher. But on top of that, yes, the spin rate's higher and whatever, but the pitcher also has more control. So you're talking about less people being hit by a pitch.
Okay.
And like, I don't know if you've been hit by a pitch that's 90 miles an hour.
Not
but
90.
It sucks. And I mean, how many times did we see Jeff Bagwell get hit on top of the hand?
How many times did we see Craig Biggio get fucking pummeled? I think he still holds a record for most hit by pitches.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he was just getting hit like in the elbow or in the hip or whatever. I'm talking about how many guys have we seen in the last couple of years get hit in the face?
Well, you've also got pitchers getting hit in the face as well, right?
Well, yeah, and to me though, that is part of the game that you can't get rid of.
But so my thing is the after effect, right? So once it leaves the pitcher's hand and it makes contact with the batter on the bat itself, what does that do to it? Does it slow the ball down? Does it speed it up? Does it change
Well,
the direction it goes in? Like that comes into factor on it because you have to play both sides of it, right?
so you're saying you mean the pine tar? Like if you let them use pine
Yes.
tar as a pitcher, so now
Yes.
the ball is doctored, is it gonna? Well, that's a good question.
And that's probably why they have millions upon millions of dollars to send to scientists and shit to figure this shit out.
Right. Yeah, I
Where
mean,
is
I'm
sports
sure.
science when you need it, right?
Right. I'd say there is someone somewhere for sports science sitting in a room just thinking shit up.
Well, you don't remember that show that they used to have?
Oh yeah, no. That's the show I'm talking about. That's the show where I watched Ray Lewis like hit a door
Yep.
at full speed and like shear it off of the hinges. It was
With
insane.
with you bringing up the whole Bauer thing, I think I want to do a career change and go into sports CSI
Yeah,
and
let's do it.
just start. Oh, so you think somebody's cheating over here?
Yeah, I mean, really, I want to do it just so I can watch all the games. But yeah, I'm
That's
with you.
true.
Let's do it.
We're gonna start a division, the sports CSI division.
I think we can do it, man.
I maybe we can get government funded on it.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Well, we're talking about baseball, and we already have controversy. The Mets played last night or tonight against the Marlins. Um,
Yeah, this is a day game, I think. But
it
yeah,
was a day game. I have the video of it, and bear with me. I'm going to try to get it up on the screen for
roll
the
that beautiful bean footage.
those of y'all watching on YouTube. Those of y'all who are not watching on YouTube, sorry about your luck. Um, if
Yeah, I mean, really, you should see these beautiful faces on YouTube.
Oh my God, I jerk off to myself so many times a day.
I mean, I just like being reassured that I definitely have a face for radio.
Right, and my sidebar won't go away, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Oh wait, here we go.
Ooh, video time.
Video
Which,
time.
which porno is this one?
This is stepmom and stepdaughter scissoring.
This must be an Alabama video.
All right.
There it is. Yeah.
Uh,
What a selfish bastard.
I'm not going to be able to do it.
Oh man. Well, I mean, we can talk about it. We know what
Fucking-
happened. Basically, it's
Fucking
bottom of the
great
ninth.
value fucking internet. God damn it.
Yeah, dude.
They got
You
the
need to stop shopping at Costco, bro.
fuck. I'm sorry.
So I'll
Proceed.
just tell you, bases are loaded, bottom of the ninth.
My favorite.
Tie game. I think it's tied 3-3. Mets are up to bat. Michael Conforto is up to bat in either a full count or it's 2-2. I can't remember. Definitely 2 strikes on him.
1-2 pitch.
Pitch comes in, strike 3. Umpire rings him up, does the whole rigmarole with his hands, like whatever they do, and calls him out, strike 3. And then he's like, whoa, wave it off. And he points to his elbow. And I guess it hit Michael Conforto's elbow. And so hit by pitch, he gets first base, run scores, walk off, hit by pitch.
Yep.
The problem is that, yes, it was a strike. So somehow a strike hit his elbow. So when you look at the replay, it wasn't one of those like, oh, here I am, and don't hit me. It was one of those like, oh, let me lean, and then let me throw my elbow out because I have a pad on it. And it just barely deflected. The catcher actually ends up catching the pitch.
Yeah.
So it wasn't deflected very far, but you could hear it. And
so you can hear
it like when
the clip.
because it doesn't, how when it hits the mitt, you just hear that, right?
Yeah.
But you hear like a double tap. And so you're like, oh, it hit something else. And then in the replay, you can see the ball, it's going, and then it barely deflects a different direction. So you can see it. But regardless, he had to lean into the strike zone to make that happen.
So do you agree with his play, or do you agree?
No, in the rules, the way the rules are written, not allowed to stick his arm out into the strike zone to create the hit by pitch. He has
Well,
to make an attempt to get away.
is he possibly in the form of his swing, possibly going to take it?
No, he does take a step, but he never starts his swing.
See, the step though is a sign of possibly taking the swing.
Well, right, but I mean, what I'm saying is the bat never leaves his shoulder. So I'm with you. Like if he had like a check swing, and that's what I thought. Like when I watched it live, I thought, man, if that guy had like started his swing, and because okay, so where it hits him, he's a left-handed batter, so it hits him right here.
Yep.
Right? It deflects off his forearm, but like had he like stepped and started, and it hit him like here, then I'm with you, right? Because that means his hands moved. He's in a different spot, and now he's trying to avoid the pitch, and it just hit him. But the way that it looks like he's up to bat, and he does this to make sure he gets hit. It's really shitty. I think it's Bush League. I think if the umpire was really watching, I think the umpire should have just called his ass out.
Yeah, but they can call for a review on the play, right? Now can you?
They did review it, and apparently all they can review is whether it hit him or not. That's it. They can't review whether he stuck his arm out, which is really stupid, by the way.
Well, I keep trying to watch this thing, and because of my great value fucking internet that I got from Family Dollar.
Well, so I don't know how to share my screen because it's very possible that I could show you the video.
Well, you should have a share screen option at the bottom.
Okay.
It's a green button.
Well, first, let's see if I can find the damn video. I have the story right here.
It's on ESPN. That's where I keep looking at.
Yeah, I have the story, and it says right here, it says, because he didn't move out of the way, that's against MLB rules, which state a player must attempt to move out of the way of a pitch if possible. Which, I mean, how many times have we seen these guys?
Wait, like, so how do you judge that, though?
Well, right. I mean, that's all in discretion of the umpire. So, all right, I'm going to try. This is a first. Host disabled participant screen sharing. So, hey, douchebag, let me enable my screen sharing since you're the host, asshole.
Try that.
All right, let's see. Share screen. And then I'm going to share this. Can you see it? Share.
I see. Up.
Can you see it?
Zach Pace has started sharing screen.
All right. So let me rewind this motherfucker. And I'm going to rewind all the way to the beginning. All right. Look, you see, you can't really see it there, but look at his elbow. See that? That's Bush League.
That's.
And look right here. Look how it barely even grazes his ass. Look at this. You see that? It moves his sleeve barely.
I need to see a normal swing to see if that's how his elbow normally goes.
Look, because see, he gets but look, you see that he got the step.
Oh, he popped it out.
He recoiled and then threw his watch his elbow. He throws his elbow out there. Oh, that is such chicken shit, right? And so they go through the whole rigmarole of reviewing it, and like I said, they can't review whether he stuck his elbow out there or not. All they can review is, holy shit, it actually hit him. And that was a walk-off win for the Mets.
Wow.
Granted, the Mets are going to win a lot of games and the Marlins aren't going to win as many. So I'm not really worried about that. But this is chicken shit.
I mean, if you can pull it off and you get the win, you get the win, man. I mean, right. That's baseball. That's 2017 in a nutshell.
I'm with you on that. Like I can't fault the guy for trying. I just completely thought somebody was going to go, I mean, that's a nice try, but no, you can't do that shit. You know what I mean? So,
I don't know. That's a crazy ending, especially for today.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sports that we're in. That's what happens in sports now.
Did you do any betting today?
You what?
Did you do any betting today?
No, because the only sports to bet on right now are Major League Baseball and hockey, and I refuse to bet on either.
And
He suckered
basketball.
me into one. What?
And basketball.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so. I don't know. Look, I am just going to go ahead and say that I am exclusively an NFL betting player. I'm not betting on anything that's not NFL.
I'm
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 not going to do it.
I'm betting everything. I'm seeing what's out there.
Well, I mean, you are a degenerate,
I am.
and it's probably my fault too.
You have a hand in it, but um, yeah,
I
I'm
always have a hand in it.
giggity. Yeah, I hit a little bit on the money line today with hockey.
Did you bet just straight money line, or did you parlay it?
I parlayed it and hit,
Oh, of course you did,
and
degenerate.
I fucking hit it.
That's my boy.
Dude, I love parlays. Like, to me, that's the biggest. If you got $1, you got a chance kind of deal. Um,
100%.
and I mean, I've hit parlays that have won me crazy money, and it's a 6 to 18 parlay, and
Yeah.
they hit, and you're like, the fucking stars aligned today. But you don't hear the backstory of, fuck, I lost the last 200 fucking parlays,
Yeah, that's
right?
the hard part is like, yeah, I hit a parlay. It was a 16 parlay. I bet $25. I won $637. Man, that's awesome.
Bro,
Yeah, but you didn't hear that I bet 16 parlays in a row and lost all those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm actually in the hole still.
Right, yeah.
Um,
I didn't even cover my fees.
I uh I went to Reddit for things other than porn and found out that there is a sports betting community, multiple communities out there, and started talking with some of them, and I'm kind of fine tuning my formulas here and there. Um, and so I'm 2 for 2 for the past 2 days.
That's nice.
Um,
You gotta start a streak somewhere.
right. And now with me saying that, I'm going to run in tomorrow and I can run a 3 team parlay and all three fucking miss.
True, that
Um,
happens, even to the best of us.
dude, I had a money line the other night to where they were all favorites. All 6 favorites lost.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah, that's a kick in the
this
dick,
isn't
man.
real life. This isn't possible.
No,
Um, but and then there are games that I want to bet on, and then the money line is not available for those games. I'm just like, I get why you're doing it, but fuck, come on, give me a
yeah,
chance, right?
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's just like, didn't you say the Sabres have lost like 18 games in a row or
they
some shit?
did, and then they won, and then
But
they
they
lost.
beat like the best team in the league or some crazy shit.
Close to it, not the best team, but I know they've won 3 out of the last 25. And I mean, that's scary because whenever you start betting against them, then you're like, fuck, are they going to go ahead and start hitting now? Like,
Right.
and they're in dead last. Like, there's no hope for them getting in the playoffs.
No.
But they still have the chance of keeping teams out of the playoffs. So it's a
Right.
scary fucking situation, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's weird. I feel like teams have more pride in keeping other teams out of the playoffs than they do making the playoffs themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Don't you think if any team could have kept the Braves out of playoff contenders back in the 90s, like they would have bragged about that? Like if Milwaukee
Hell
being in
yeah.
dead last kept them out, like they've been like, "Oh yeah, we kept the Braves out that year."
Hell yeah.
Um
I mean, I would. I know I would. And be like, you know what? We might have sucked, but we beat you when it counted, and you didn't get to play in the postseason either.
I think I'm going to start dabbling into prop bets because I see prop bets pay out very well. Now, granted, you spend a lot of fucking money on prop bets.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean, it takes a lot of research to find out, all the ins and outs of a prop bet, but I do feel like there are places in there where money can be made. That is
Absolutely.
100% sure.
Absolutely. I saw a prop bet posted on Reddit the other day to where a guy spent $100, and I know it was in basketball. I couldn't tell you the player or anything that he bet, but his prop bets won him $16,000 off of $100
Holy
bet.
shit.
And I would probably just drop to my knees if I ever hit anything like that, right?
Yeah,
Um,
wow. That's a hell of a
that's
payout,
and
man.
I think that's why parlays are so fun to me is because of the fact that
Of course.
you look at the numbers and you're like, oh, if that
Yeah.
hits, like when you buy a lotto ticket, oh, if that number hits, yes.
Right. I'm with you. I feel the exact same way. It's like, so you mean if I pick 6 teams and they do what I think they're going to do, and I bet you $10, you're going to give me 500?
Oh,
Sold.
dude, and that's the thing that parlays are like a used car salesman, right? Like they show you
Parlays are
all,
like crack. Let's be honest.
they show you the glamour of everything, but once you start driving that motherfucker and the wheels fall off, you're like, fuck, but it still could do this, right?
Yeah.
But with my with my run this season, if I bet on the first game of the night, I'm guaranteed to lose because every single fucking time, it's the first team of the night that I'm betting on the parlay, whether it be over under or money line. They're the ones that fuck me completely, right?
Yeah.
Um, but damn it, they're so much fun. If you're not sports betting, you need to drop whatever other hobbies you're doing and get into sports betting. It's really fun.
Um, you know, I would love to disagree with you,
Hmm.
but it is fun. It's so much fun because, like, you make the game that much more interesting. And that's honestly, that's why I like prop bets because then it's like, I don't even care. Oh, hey, the Rangers won 5-3, but so and so had 3 assists and he actually got 4 points.
Yep.
That's a win.
Yep.
Like it makes it so much more exciting. Like in the NFL, when you bet on the Super Bowl, like, oh, hey, so and so is going to have 100 rushing yards or whatever. Like, I don't know. It makes it to where the entire game is just that much more interesting.
I
I
really.
love it.
You were talking about prop bets during the Super Bowl, and one of the ones that stuck out to me was Travis Kelsey rushing for plus or minus 1 yard. Maybe
No,
it
no,
was
no. It was one carry.
one carry.
Yeah.
I was just like screaming to high heavens, telling you, take that fucking bet, take that fucking bet. And you, being the smarter one, told me, Ed, shut the fuck up. I got
Yeah.
this.
His last rushing attempt was like 2014.
But that's not that far fetched of a bet because you think about it, you're like, it's the fucking Super Bowl. We've seen weirder shit happen.
Right, but I mean they haven't done it all season. They didn't do it
Right.
all of last season.
So why not
And
bet
now
on it?
like the biggest game of the year. I mean, it is like the announcer in the Water Boy. Last game of the season, can't hold anything back now. Like I get it, but I mean, you have a game plan, you execute the game plan. The reason why you're in the Super Bowl is because the game plan that you had works. And in nowhere in that game plan does Travis Kelsey run the fucking football.
You throw a fucking curveball though, and Travis Kelsey runs for 60. Oh my god. That
Well, I
would
mean, yeah, of course. Like nobody expects it. Like, hey, we ran the tight end around, and all of a sudden he ran a reverse for 40 yards. What
if
a play!
they're set up for trips left, and then you all of a sudden see him run Wildcat. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, I mean, like it would have been nice because I think it was plus 2,000 or some crazy ass number.
Bro.
But you know what else was in the Super Bowl? You know what else prop bet would have been really good? Rob Gronkowski catching 2 touchdown passes and the fucking Buccaneers winning. That was plus like 2,100.
Did you bet on that?
No, because I thought the Chiefs were going to win. Just like everyone else in the world that did not live in Florida or
You telling that story had a chub that went like this and then like that.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like I said, it's fun to hit a prop bet, but it really sucks when you're on the wrong side of it.
Well, I am looking forward to more sports betting. I'm looking forward to prop betting. I'm looking forward to just sports in general.
Me too.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and sports has brought us to doing what we're doing right now. Right.
True.
So
Yeah, without sports, we would not have a podcast, and without sports, you guys wouldn't hear our beautiful voices
or see our fucking beautiful faces on YouTube right now.
Moneymaker right here.
God, I am so gorgeous. Ladies and
wouldn't go
gentlemen,
that far,
we
but
we thank y'all for following us, liking us, listening to us, licking our buttholes when we ask. Y'all are great people, individuals. We love what we're doing. We're having a fucking blast. If you can't tell, if you're not having fun with us, you need to get a fucking drink in your hand. You can
very much
find
so.
you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Are we anywhere else? Spotify, Google Podcast.
Spotify, Google Podcasts. I'm pretty sure if you tell Alexa to play Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports, it will play our podcast.
That is true. So
So-
all of y'all who are around there right now, Alexa, play Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. So hopefully that hit and you can listen to our latest episode. We love y'all so very much. Even if you hate us, I'll still put it in your butt. I don't care.
I just want you guys, if you like us, share us with your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not making, just full disclosure, we're not making any money off this.
Not a dime.
This is not a monetary.
If you're getting money off of this and I don't know about this, we have a problem.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We're not making any money off this. We're just having fun. But we do want to reach more people because we want to get the feedback. Like today, I got feedback from, an unexpected source, but found out that he was a listener and he liked what we were doing.
Bro, I got tired of
great
getting
feeling.
screenshots from you from text messages
Yeah, well,
of people telling you they like the
we're
show.
good. Yeah, and it's a great feeling to know that we're putting ourselves out there, and you know what? Some weird people actually like us. It's kind of cool.
And if you hate us, send us to other people
Right.
and ruin their day.
Yeah, be like, hey, check out these two idiots. We're not above that. That's
Right.
fine.
I'm a dumpster diver. Let's go.
Exactly. And then if you hate what we're doing, send us a message. Let us know. Comment on every video on YouTube and say, oh my God, I can't believe you guys waste your time doing this. Y'all suck. That's fine. I just want to read it. That'd be great.
That's jerk off material to me.
Yeah, I'd love to have a hater.
We truly
I know
appreciate y'all.
We have one hater.
We do have a hater, and he knows who he is.
Yep. Hate you too, buddy.
Right there, big boy. Well, that's another episode. Congratulations, Zach. You did an outstanding job.
Yeah, I'll give myself a B-.
I'm going to give myself a BJ if I could.
We're
going to end the show with a would you? Would you suck? Would you blow yourself if you could?
What? But no, there's not another choice.
Or not? That's the choice.
I don't know. That's a very tough question.
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Yeah, okay. So, I've never had any desire to ever put a penis in my mouth. So I'm going to say no, I wouldn't do it.
In the famous words of somebody that I know has said, how did you know you liked chocolate ice cream? You had to try it, right?
That's the most awkward answer I've ever heard.
It kind of pinned you in a corner there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling.
No. I mean, I can just kind of tell you that I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I'm out on that. I mean, now, to be fair, I'm acting like I actually have a choice. I'm not as well endowed as someone who could do that. So I don't have to worry about it.
Short and shrivel to the left, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. If I was, blessed in that department, I still don't think that I would because, no. I have no desire to do that.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Adios, assholes. See you on the next go round.